Last week on this broadcast, Transportation Chairwoman Mary Che said there's a chance that the streetcar program, as it's been envisioned, is not going to happen. How do you feel about what's going on with the delays on H Street in your ward, and what's reasonable, in your view, moving forward?
Well, as somebody who watches an empty streetcar roll down H Street all the time, it is incredibly frustrating. It was about 8 years ago today that we actually broke ground on the construction there. And I'm a big believer in the streetcar. I do believe that it can be a really smart investment. I think it already has been a smart investment, but it can help connect neighborhoods and help connect our city. We are growing as a city, and we are not going to be able to accommodate if everybody's bringing in a car. We've got to have great transit, great bus. We've got to have the bikeability, the walkability, but streetcar is in the mix, and it's got to be part of the solution to our transit needs in the city. Now, I think it's fully appropriate for a new mayor and a new DDOT director to say we're going to take a new look at this and come up with a system that we believe that we're going to inherit and run. And I think that's what they're doing right now. I was speaking with the DDOT director, Director Dormsjo, this morning, and he was talking about the different reviews that he's conducting right now. But I believe that the H Street line is much more than what you see already. The H Street line has to connect downtown, and it has to connect to the east. So the line that just goes from Hopscotch Bridge near Union Station down to the golf course, basically, that is not the totality of what the H Street line has to be. We have to connect it downtown. We have to connect it to the east, and that's going to be part of my priority, working with the DDOT director, working with the mayor, and working with Ms. Che to make sure that we are seeing the vision for that H Street line.
I mean, are there any plans for the council in some comprehensive way to investigate what has gone wrong here? I mean, this is an expenditure of an enormous amount of tax money, and I think particularly for people who favor public transit, as I do, I think the burden of proof is on us to demonstrate a commitment to competence and to rigor about to being single-minded about rooting out incompetence, and that clearly hasn't happened here.
Fires, the crashes during testing, are you guys investigating that at all?
Well, we are with the DDOT director. I mean, this is part of his review, and so I think that I've heard Ms. Che, and I know in my own conversations with DDOT director Dormsjo, is that that's part of what we're expecting him to be able to look at. And later today, he's actually going to be talking a little about this down at the council. And the expectation is understand what's working and what's not working and what needs to work better. And he's going to speak about that a little bit later today even. But I do also expect that the mayor, when she releases her budget in early April, she's going to make very clear what her thoughts are on where that investment goes. But
is this something that you intend to use your oversight capacity to investigate independently of the executive branch?
Well, I have to do that with my chair. I mean, I don't chair transportation, so I've got to work with Ms. Che on that. But that's part of why we have DDOT coming before us all the time. They were in front of the committee 2 weeks ago, and I was asking a lot of very specific questions about the streetcar. Later this afternoon, when the director's in front of me again, I'll be asking the exact same questions, trying to understand what's working and what's not. We had the fire on top from a sparking. We've also had vehicles, though, that have crashed into the streetcar. So was that the vehicle's fault or was that the streetcar's fault? Part of that.
Does it really matter? I mean, what, are we going to haul some vehicle driver in front of the city council to?
No, but we need to understand why did that take place, and was it an outlier? Was it it was purely an accident from the driver of that vehicle, or was there something wrong with what the streetcar was doing that then lent itself to that collision? That's part of what we have to understand, and that is part of what we're doing from an oversight perspective.